Good morning. It is Thursday, May 20th, 2021. Let it be known, another special show today. Today we have Billboard magazine chart topping singer and songwriter Jay Brown, who is climbing the charts rapidly. We're going to talk to Jay Brown this morning. But first, of course, let us bring on our president and CEO of the National Newspaper Publishers Association, Dr. Ben Chavis. Good morning, Dr. Chavis.
Good morning, Stacy. On behalf of the Black Press of America, we welcome everybody to this morning's special edition of Let It Be Known.
Absolutely. And Dr. Chavis, in the headlines this morning, some sad news in the headlines. Paul Mooney, the comedian who wrote episodes of Sanford and Son, Good Times, and The Richard Pryor Show, has died at the age of 79. His publicist, Cassandra Williams, confirmed Paul Mooney's death and said he died at home in California. Paul Mooney was a genius, Dr. Chavis. He wrote stand-up comedy. He opened for Eddie Murphy's Raw tour in 1987, 1988. He wrote lines for Richard Pryor, and also he wrote Richard Pryor's one of Richard Pryor's wildly successful stand-up films, Live on the Sunset Strip. And he played Sam Cooke in the Buddy Holly story. A big loss in the world of entertainment, comedian Paul Mooney. Dr. Chavis, I know you've probably had, like everyone else, you've probably had an opportunity to come across Paul Mooney in the past.
Yes, our paths crossed, and on behalf of the Black Press, we extend our condolences to the Mooney family. And we really, you're right, he was a genius, but he shared his creativity with so many people in the Hollywood community, not only as a writer, but as a coach, as a mentor. And certainly we now will have to find ways and means to keep his legacy alive in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, and his family posted a message saying, "Thank you all from the bottom of our hearts. You're all the best. Mooney World, the godfather of comedy. One moon, many stars. To all in love with this great man, many thanks." So our condolences do certainly go out to the family of the late, great Paul Mooney. Dr. Chavis was also in the news this morning. An appeals court judge, now listen to this story. An appeals court judge in North Carolina is accused of aiming his SUV at a Black Lives Matter protester who was at an anti-police brutality rally in Fayetteville. Judge John Marsh Tyson, who is 67 years old, has been summoned to appear in court and will be charged with misdemeanor assault with a deadly weapon in the incident that occurred on May 7th in downtown Fayetteville. It's just amazing when you see this.
Well, again, it exposes, another thing we do in the Black Press of America, Stacy, we have to expose how systemic racism manifests itself in America. And this man is a judge. Not a lower court judge, an appellate judge of all things. They have that kind of racism, they have that kind of prejudice, they have that kind of white supremacy. So yes, he wears a black robe, but he really wears a white robe. He really wears a hood. And so that's one of the problems that we gotta get. It's just not about reforming the police. It's about reforming the whole so-called judicial system, so the whole so-called criminal justice system. And the passage, hopefully soon, of the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act is just the first step. It's not the end of the situation. I remember when we first got the Civil Rights Bill passed in 1964 and the Voting Rights Bill in 1965 and the Fair Housing Act in 1968. We knew then that these steps would have to be pursued. You have to keep stepping for freedom. You can't just take one step. That's why Mandela's book, A Long Journey, it is a long journey. Freedom is a constant struggle, a luta continua.
Yeah, absolutely. And the victim in the case, Dr. Chavis, her name is Maya Warren. And you know, what's interesting too, Dr. Chavis, it was Maya who had to pursue these charges. The police didn't pursue the charges. No one else pursued the charges. They were not going to do anything about it. But in Fayetteville, a citizen can go and swear out a criminal complaint. And if a judge sees that there's enough evidence, and in this case, there was a videotaped evidence of this, and so he agreed with Maya Warren, and good job for Maya Warren, who is a noted activist in Fayetteville.
Well, that's great. Another black woman, young black woman leader in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I'm so proud of her. And I hope now that the people of Fayetteville will rally to support Maya and rally to support not just her claim, but her leadership. So very important.
Yeah, and also in the news, Dr. Chavis, some really good news. Dolores Spencer, who has been a math teacher in Hampton, Virginia for more than 70 years. Yeah, you heard it right, 70 years. She continues to tutor students around the world for free through Facebook Live at the age of 88. During the pandemic, students transitioned to learning from home, and many struggled to understand the lessons. So Dolores Spencer decided to come forward to help the students, particularly about the subject of math. She says, it's been a wonderful experience to reach out to so many people. If I teach you how to do it, you can do it just as well as I can. It's so great when you see the light, she said. So since last year, Dr. Chavis, Dolores Spencer, at the age of 88, has been tutoring, quote, Math Made Simple. That's the name of her program on Facebook Live. Every Tuesday night, free, she's been doing this. You have to just sit in amazement at this wonderful educator, dedicated.
Great teacher of mathematics. Remember, the whole Tidewater area in Norfolk and Newport News and Hampton, that's where Hidden Figures started, where you had these sisters who were mathematical geniuses working for the federal government, who really did all of the computation work for the NASA, for a space program. Mm-hmm. And now our dear beloved sister is still teaching math. I don't know, something's going on in that order place around in Virginia, where you have all these generational mathematicians. And now they're sharing, she's sharing her talent, her skill with the next generation of mathematicians coming out of that part of Virginia. Salute to our sister leader, teacher.
Yeah, absolutely. You know that our publisher down there, Brenda Andrews, the New Journal and Guide, is all over this fantastic story. Want to say good morning. Yeah, I want to say good morning. Speaking of our publishers, Dr. Chavis, our chair is watching this morning from the Houston Forward Times. Karen Carter Richards, want to say good morning to her. Yes. Bob Henry down in Florida, want to say good morning to Bobby. My homegirl, Tawana Smith, is watching. Good morning, Tawana. Michelle Madison, we always thank you for joining us. Of course, Annette Phillips, Joni King, Lynn Spivey, everyone, we thank you for watching. And we also want to say good morning to our special guest, recording artist Jay Brown, who is really, really changing the game in music. Good morning, Jay Brown.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, brother. I appreciate you guys.
Good morning, Jay. And Jay, right before we start with you, I just wanted to, Stacy, I haven't had a chance to tell you, while our chair is watching Karen Carter Richards, her family has had a major loss, passing of her aunt. Her mother's sister passed. Oh, no. And her mother's sister worked for the Forward Times for 40 years. And she passed this week. So on behalf of the Black Press of America, we extend our condolences to the family of Karen Carter Richards at the passing of her aunt. And we you know, it's an intergenerational family, 3 generations, Jay, that have been running the Forward Times newspaper, you know, over 60-some years. And so we express our sympathy and our condolences. And even while in her state of grief, she's watching early this morning, let it be known. So God bless you, Karen, and your family.
Absolutely. God bless you. Praying for you. Definitely praying for you.
Yeah, and we also want to say good morning to Jackie Hampton, who's watching from the Mississippi Link down in Mississippi, and the NMPA's Executive Administrator, Claudette Perry. Always glad to have you. Jay, tell us about the new single that's number 13, the last time we checked on the charts, and probably higher this morning.
Yes, sir. So again, I just want to say thank you guys for having me. It's a privilege to be here. Definitely an honor. You know, so my new single is entitled Vibe. It's available on all downloadable platforms. It's currently the number 13 song on the Billboard charts. And I'm grateful and thankful that I've made it this far, considering that we've been going through a pandemic. So I just want to say that I'm thankful to all the people that have downloaded it, and keep trucking, because apparently I'm doing something right.
You are doing something right. And the other thing to know is Jay is an independent artist. He's not with a major label, and he's doing better than most major labels on his own. Jay, what is that like? I know that the music industry is a tough one, but you've navigated it, and now here you are. You're charging up the charts. You got more music coming. What's that like, Jay, to have to do this pretty much on your own?
Well, considering I don't have that engine behind me in terms of a major record label, it's a bit challenging. But with perseverance, the right connections, and just staying positive at all times and believing in my craft, I've been able to have a nice amount of success. So for those who are watching, any aspiring artists, it may sound cliche, but continue to believe in yourself. Strive for excellence. Keep fighting a good fight. You may hear 100 no's, but eventually you'll hear a yes. So I'm one of those people who just believes in himself and decide to never give up, considering that it's something that I've been called to do.
And Jay, since you're an independent artist, where can folks buy your music?
Well, thank you for asking that. So my music is available on all downloadable platforms. It's clean music, all about love. If you're fans of the OJs, Spinner, Temptations, Marvin Gaye, all the greats in the past, you'll enjoy my sound. I'm a young guy, but I have an old soul. That's what my dad would always say. And it's something that everyone can listen to, not only young people, older people, everyone. So if you don't mind, I would say check it out. I would honestly say you'll appreciate it.
Absolutely. And speaking of young guys with an old soul, Dr. Chavis, I'll let you jump in.
Thank you so much. And Jay Brown, salute to you, good brother. I was involved with some of the founding of Def Jam Records with Russell Simmons, and been involved in the hip hop community. Even though my career is civil rights, I also was one of the early advocates of young brothers in R&B as well as in hip hop. Tell us, how old were you when you first started your career, man, as a songwriter, as an entertainer, as a producer, as making hits that wind up on the chart?
Yes. So I started at the age of 6 in my father's church. My father, he was a Baptist pastor. So we all know when your father's a pastor, you have to listen to pretty much everything he said. So
right, you're a PK. You're a PK.
A good PK, though. You know what they say about PK. So, but yeah, I'm a PK. I started playing in my father's church on the organ and singing. So that's where it all started. And from there, it progressed into me entering talent shows and things of that nature. Eventually, I just decided, hey, maybe I could pursue this full time in the sense of like an actual career. So in undergrad, I did the talent show. There was maybe like 2,000 students there. I figured I would get booed, but apparently everyone loved me. So from there, I said that was the defining moment for me. So I decided to pursue it.
Well, that's great. The relationship between the Black press and the Black church, and Stacy Brown said our national secretary is watching, Hampton. One of the things that Jackie knows that she comes from a strong Black church family in Jackson, Mississippi. And the fact that you started 6 years old, expressing your talent, expressing the gifts that God has given you. Now you're spreading to a different genre of music that is really capturing everyone. So we wish you the best, man. And, keep, like you say, I like what you said at the opening about being true to yourself. First of all, finding yourself, then being true to yourself in the industry. And the fact that you're an independent artist means that you don't have the pressures of being dictated to in terms of what you can do, what you should not do, but being guided by your own sense of integrity in terms of what you bring to the table. And I think that's one of the reasons why you are successful, because people not only hear you, they can feel you.
Yes, sir. You actually nailed it right there. So that sums up everything. Absolutely.
And you know, Jay, we're talking about the single Vibe that's been climbing the charts, number 13 on the charts currently. But this is not, make no mistake, everyone, this is not the first time Jay has hit the top of the charts. 4 times, I believe, Jay, in the last year and a half, you've been on the Billboard charts, up in the top 15 or so.
Yes, sir. This is the 4th time. So the fact that I'm still gaining this traction is just, it's all God's work. People say, you put in the work, John, because my name is John, by the way, outside of the music side. But people say, John, you put in the work, you should be proud of yourself. I am proud, but I can't give all the credit to myself. I give all the credit to my creator, and a lot of people lose sight of that whenever they gain success or whatever you want to refer to it as. I can honestly say that, everything that's been going on right now in terms of my life or in general has been because of God.
And Jay, talk about, if you will, some of the challenges you've had to get to this point. It sounds like there's been a few, but what about, say, perhaps your toughest challenge? What would you identify as what your toughest challenge may have been?
The toughest challenge was trying to figure out if, in fact, I wanted to get back involved in the music industry. Because, when you're passionate about something, yet you know that it's such a challenge, especially as singers nowadays. People mostly care about the rap, if you want to refer to it as rap. Back in the day when I was the rap, it was more like something poetic, Nowadays, it's just a bunch of unnecessary garbage, if you will. But not all of it, but just going back to your point, for me, I'm just thankful to be in this position because it isn't easy. As an independent artist, like you said, it's hard, and to do it on your own without the dictatorship of a major engine behind you, it's something to be proud of.
Yeah, and you mentioned too about your sound, and you described your sound. Can you describe it in terms of other artists, past or present, who you say Teddy Pendergrass or Luther Vandross or
oh, wow,
someone more modern? Can you describe where you fit in as far as your voice is concerned?
It's funny you actually mentioned my idol out of everyone that I've listened to. Teddy Pendergrass is by far, hands down, my favorite artist of all time. So that is the guy that I try to, I don't want to say mimic, but in a sense, yeah. I look up to him out of any other artist that ever existed. So yeah, pretty much like Teddy Pendergrass.
Okay. Wow. Now that's raising that bar, up there, So we gotta watch out for Jay Brown, Dr. Chavis.
Absolutely. And Jay, look, it's okay to have a mentor. It's okay to have an idol. It's okay to have a role model in life. And really, to all of our young brothers and sisters, no matter what age, you started at 6. I'm sure that your own father, as a pastor, as a preacher, was also a role model. But that's good, man, that you can identify Teddy Pendergrass as somebody that you emanate yourself and try to follow in those footsteps. We all inherit certain aspects of our life from others, and the fact that you take time to give God credit, to give others credit for your career development, and that's again, those are signs, Jay Brown, that you still have much more to go. God has helped you and brought you this far, and you know who your mentors are, who your idols are. Now you're going to become a mentor yourself. You're a mentee, now you're a mentor because you're successful. And this is the question I have for you, Jay. What would you say to young Generation Z and millennials today as they contemplate going into the entertainment industry? What would be one sound bit of advice you could give to our young brothers and sisters today?
I'm glad you asked that question. For me personally, I would say stay true to yourself. A lot of people try to follow this pattern of meaningless material just only in an attempt to gain success and money and things that don't matter at the end of the day. For me, I've always stayed true to myself, to my art craft, because my parents raised me in a household where we are all about love, So for myself personally, or for anyone else, I think if you stay true to who you are and you stay grounded, you should be pretty well off in the sense of accomplishing what it is you want to accomplish out of life and out of this industry. But just don't compromise who you are for anything or anyone. Just in attempt just to gain success in the industry, just always make sure you stay grounded and keep positive people around you, because the industry is, it's almost like going into shark infested waters at times. So if you don't go in with a level head, you could potentially drown or be eaten. So just stay true to yourself. That's the best advice I can give anyone.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I think our chair, Dr. Chavis, Karen Carter Richards, is reading my mind, because one of the questions I was going to ask Jay, is there anyone who he might consider a duet with or working with? And Karen Carter Richards puts up Chelsea Lenora. That's her daughter, who sings like, man, I can't even describe how great she sings, man. It is fantastic, that voice. But Jay, anyone that you would consider doing a duet with?
Well, to Miss Karen, if your daughter, if she would like to do a duet together, I'm all for it. I'm a cool guy. I don't care about the whole money situation, none of that. Like, I'm all about music. So if your daughter wants to do a duet together, my Instagram is J Brown Music Only. Send me a DM. I will connect with you or her. We can make it happen. However, I am in California, so it could be a bit tricky, but I'm sure we can work it out. She actually
has recorded in California, and some of her producers are in California, so that kind of works out too.
there you have it. So I'm a man of my words. If she wants to do it, let's put it together, and I'm sure we can gel it in the right place in the right time, and come out with something successful.
There you go. Bobby Henry, he had mentioned that, and I think you kind of touched on this. He says, how do you stay true to your game of clean music?
I'm gonna tell you, not the only, but for one, I'm a father. Okay, so I have a son and a daughter. The things I sing about is something that I would want a man to do or say to my daughter when she's of age. I try to carry myself in a certain way because my children are watching me. They watch everything that we do, and even when we may not think they're watching. So for me, that's how I stay true to myself. I sing about things that I would want my children to listen to, and I try to incorporate things in my songs that I would like my children to incorporate into their future relationship and things of that nature. So that's the main reason. My children. And my father. My father would always tell me, sing the good stuff, boy, because God's gonna get you. So that kind of like, that won't leave my mind. Yeah.
That's interesting because well, first, before I forget, sincerely Lenora is how you find Chelsea Lenora. Karen Carter Richards reminds us, but it reminds me of Sinbad. We had Sinbad on the show last year, and Sinbad we asked him about being a clean comic, and he said the same thing almost, but he talked about his father being in the audience one day, and he just couldn't let those expletives fly, and so he just became a clean comic. He just kept it clean after that. But that's it's highly Jay, I have to say, and I know Dr. Chavis agrees, it's highly commendable and respectable that you think about your daughter and how, like you said, how you would want a man to approach her when that time comes. Is that in that business, and to Bobby's point, in that business, it's got to be tough though.
It is tough because a lot of people they expect me to, I don't want to say exploit myself or exploit women, but that's what a lot of this music is nowadays. And I'm not going to say all of it, but the expectation is, why don't you sing about, something sexual or things that are way out of character for me. So I will tell you, sometimes it is a challenge because even with these record labels, they want you to sing a certain style of whatever, just to kind of, get into the norm and, what they consider the norm. So, but for me, I'm just trying to stay true to myself stay true to what I've been doing for as long as I've been doing it. And then from there, I'm just hoping that I'll continue to gain success from it.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, Jay Brown, the new single is Vibe. It's number 13 on the charts. I'm sure by the time we close this program, it'll be number 1. Where can people get it?
So thank you for asking that as well. So my music is available on all downloadable platforms. The new single Vibe, as you stated, number 13 on R&B Billboard charts. My new EP is dropping this spring. I don't have a title for it as of yet, so if you guys have any creative titles, you can let me know. But as of right now, we're focused on the new single. So again, if you have a smartphone, which I'm assuming we all do, you just type in Jay Brown, a little short guy, which is me. You'll see me pop up. Press download, listen, enjoy, share with your friends, family. Yeah, I promise you won't be disappointed.
It sounds like there's no way anybody would be disappointed with Jay Brown. We're looking forward to hearing so much more from Jay Brown and Jay Brown music. Dr. Chavis, your closing thoughts?
Well, you know what my closing thought is. I'm in the recruitment business. And on Jay Brown, on June 23rd through the 26th, all of our publishers from around the United States are having our virtual convention. And look, man, we got plenty of slots, man. I would love for you to perform your hit song or song that you're getting ready to release for the Black Press of America. We'll be in touch with you because we always want to support talent, man. We want to support brothers and sisters like yourself. And, Father's Day is coming up. And I was thinking about what you just said as a father, in your care, not only for your kids, but all of the young people that listen to your music and people who are older that listen to your music get inspired by your truth and by your essence and by your talent. And so, hats off to you. And that's what we do in the Black Press. We support one another. And as you climb, not just the charts, but in your own career, always, turn around to help somebody else follow in your footsteps, because we need more Jay Browns in the music industry.
Yes, sir. I thank you for saying that. And I would definitely perform for you guys anytime. As long as you're willing to have me, I am there.
and so you got one suggestion for a title, and again, it doesn't surprise me that it comes from Bobby Henry, our fantastic publisher down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, at the West Side Gazette. The title, he said, let the title be "Love Will Make You Do It." So there's
I'm not
one
mad at that. I'm not mad at that. Thank you, Bobby. I might have to run with that. I'll give you some credit. I'll definitely credit you.
Thanks again to Jay Brown. And don't forget, as Dr. Chavis alluded to, it's not too early to register for the National Newspaper Publishers Association's annual summer convention, which is held virtually this year and is totally free at www.virtualnmpa2021.com. Again, hey, you might see Jay Brown there. It sounds like he's all for it. So register today, virtualnmpa2021.com. And let it be known, in the words of Malcolm X, the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. Everybody have a great day. Stay safe and stay well, and we will see you tomorrow.